If you're the woman who was told to be grateful, to smile, to not make things awkward at the dinner table, even when your heart was cracking, this story is for you. If you've ever been labeled something small because other people couldn't, sit with me tonight. My name is Gabriela Navarro Cruz. I'm 36 now, living in northern New Mexico, where the desert light turns everything gold around sunset. But 10 years ago, I was a newlywed, sitting at a long oak dining table in my in-laws' adobe house outside Santa Fe, being called a gold digger over green chili enchiladas. And I kept smiling, because that's what I was trained to do. I'm a licensed real estate broker. Back then, I was just starting out. Hustling open houses, printing flyers at midnight, staging homes with borrowed throw pillows and Target candles. I wasn't born into money. My parents run a small auto body shop in Albuquerque. I paid for college with scholarships and part-time jobs. When I married their son, Mateo Cruz, he was finishing his residency in orthopedic surgery. That's when it started. The family tradition. Every Sunday dinner at his parents' house. Mandatory. No exceptions unless you were hospitalized or dead. You showed up dressed nicely. You complimented the cooking. And you never, ever contradicted Doña Teresa Cruz, Mateo's mother. The tradition also included a little ritual disguised as humor. Right after dessert, when coffee was poured, Teresa would raise her cup slightly and say, smiling sweet as piloncillo, to love that sees potential. Then she'd glance at me. The first time she did it, I didn't understand. Mateo squeezed my knee under the table. Ignore it, he whispered. But then his sister Paloma laughed and added, some girls have amazing vision when it comes to future surgeons. And the whole table would chuckle. Gold digger. Every Sunday. At first it was jokes. Then it became open commentary. Oh, Gabriela, you must be so proud. All those years of medical school finally paying off for you. Or, must be nice not having to worry about your future anymore. I was building a business from scratch. I was showing houses in 105-degree heat while Mateo studied in air conditioning. I was eating gas station protein bars between appointments. But none of that mattered, because in their minds, I had married up. Have you ever been reduced to one ugly assumption no matter how hard you work? Drop a comment if you know that feeling, because it does something to your nervous system, doesn't it? The first time something I worked for was actually destroyed happened 2 years into our marriage. I had just closed my biggest deal, a historic adobe near Canyon Road. My commission check was more money than I'd ever seen in my account. I printed a copy of the listing brochure I designed myself. Thick matte paper, gorgeous photos. My name in elegant serif font at the bottom. Gabriela Navarro Cruz, associate broker. I brought it to Sunday dinner. Not to brag. Just to feel seen. Teresa flipped through it at the table. Oh, she said, eyebrows lifting. This little casita? Mateo could buy 5 of these soon. The room laughed. Then she handed it to Paloma's daughter, my niece by marriage, little Sofia, who was 9 at the time. Careful, mija, Teresa said loudly. This is how some women catch husbands. And Sofia, sweet, innocent Sofia, with braids and glitter sneakers, ripped the corner accidentally while tugging it back. Teresa didn't apologize. She just set the torn brochure down beside her coffee cup, where a ring of dark liquid slowly soaked into my name. I watched the ink blur. I'm not even kidding. I felt something inside me blur too. Mateo said nothing. Later that night, I told him it hurt me. He sighed. You're too sensitive, Gabby. They're traditional. Traditional. That word became a cage. Years passed. Mateo became Dr. Cruz. The checks got bigger. The house we bought, technically in his name because it's simpler for mortgage approval, he said, sat on 5 acres with views of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. I kept building my career quietly. I reinvested every commission into certifications, marketing, staging inventory. I slept 4 hours some nights. I learned zoning laws, land use codes, contract loopholes. You know what's funny? The woman they called a gold digger was the only one actually studying money. Sophia grew up in front of me. At 12, she started helping clear plates at dinner automatically. Teresa would say, "A good woman serves first." I saw Sophia watching me sometimes when the jokes started. By then, they weren't jokes. Teresa once said, at least Gabriela was smart enough to secure her future early. In front of guests. I stopped reacting. I developed this stillness. A desert stillness. You know how the air before a monsoon feels thick and electric? That was me. Second time Sophia mattered. She was 14. I walked into the kitchen during dinner and heard Teresa telling her, Marry a man with a profession. Don't struggle like some women do, Sophia asked. Like Tia Gabi? Teresa lowered her voice, but I still heard it. Exactly. Something in Sophia's tone, confusion, maybe doubt, stuck with me. That night she came to sit beside me on the patio. Tia, she asked quietly, did you always want to marry a doctor? I laughed softly. I wanted to buy buildings. Her eyes widened. Really? Really? She looked relieved, like I had handed her a secret map. Have you ever realized a younger girl is watching how you accept disrespect? That's a heavy mirror, isn't it? The marriage started cracking around year 8. Matteo liked the image of me. Polished, supportive, successful enough to be impressive, but not threatening. When my brokerage expanded and I started mentoring new agents, something shifted. The final fracture came over property. The house. I discovered through a casual conversation with our lender that Matteo had refinanced without adding my name, again, despite promising he would. When I confronted him, he said, it's just cleaner this way. Besides, you'd be fine. You're good at landing on your feet. There it was. He never saw me as a partner, just a clever attachment. The divorce was not explosive. It was clinical. And here's where Teresa underestimated me. All those years of Sunday dinners, I was listening, learning, watching how they structured assets, how they protected income. I had my own LLC by then, separate accounts, investments in small multifamily properties under my business. Matteo assumed I'd fight emotionally. I fought legally. Community property laws in New Mexico are clear, and while the house was in his name, mortgage payments came from our joint account, funded significantly by my commissions. I hired a ruthless but precise attorney named Elaine Park. Soft voice, sharp mind. The settlement took 18 months. In the end, he pays me alimony. And the house? It's mine. Fully deeded. Signed. Recorded. Undeniable. But the real moment, the one you're waiting for, happened after. Teresa insisted on one final family dinner to keep things civil. I almost didn't go. Then Sophia called me. She was 16. Her voice trembled. Tia, Abuela says I should start thinking about what kind of husband I want. She said law or medicine is safest. There was a long pause. I want to study environmental engineering, she whispered. But what if she's right? That was it. That was the crack of thunder after years of pressure. So I went to dinner. The adobe house smelled the same. Roasted chili, simmering beans, cinnamon from arroz con leche. The vigas across the ceiling cast dark lines overhead. The table was set with Teresa's embroidered runner. Everyone was there. Matteo avoided my eyes. Teresa wore cream, like she was hosting a baptism, instead of the woman she'd belittled for a decade. I dressed simply. Black linen dress, hair sleek, no flashy jewelry. Calm. We ate in strained politeness. Then came coffee, the ritual moment. Teresa lifted her cup. To lessons learned, she said smoothly. Silence. All eyes shifted to me. I felt Sophia beside me, rigid, watching. I set my napkin down slowly. You could hear the fabric slide against the table. Actually, I said gently, I have something to share too. My voice didn't shake. I reached into my leather folder, the same one I bring to closings, placed a single document on the table. The recorded deed. My name alone, Gabriela Navarro Cruz, owner. The room stilled. Even the ceiling fan seemed to hush. Teresa blinked. What is this? It's the house, I said. Transferred and recorded last week. Mateo's jaw tightened. He hadn't expected me to present it here. Paloma leaned forward. What do you mean transferred? It means, I said, meeting Teresa's eyes steadily, that the gold digger owns the gold. No bite. No sarcasm. Just fact. Teresa's lips parted, but nothing came out. I continued, still calm. The settlement also includes structured alimony. It's already processed. Sophia's breath hitched softly beside me. Matteo finally spoke. This isn't necessary. I agree, I said. None of it was necessary. The air felt thick, heavy, like before a storm. Teresa's fingers trembled slightly around her coffee cup. For the first time in 10 years, she had no script. You planned this, she whispered. Yes, I said simply. For years. I let the silence stretch. Let it sit on their shoulders the way their words had sat on mine. Then I turned to Sophia. You can build your own house, I told her quietly, before you ever marry anyone. And if you do marry, it should be because they add joy, not security. Tears pooled in her eyes. Teresa inhaled sharply. We were joking all these years. No, I interrupted gently. You were defining me. I slid the torn, coffee-stained brochure from years ago onto the table. Yes, I kept it. The ink was still blurred where her cup had soaked into my name. I built anyway, I said. The room felt unbearably still. No one laughed. No one moved. Mateo looked smaller somehow. Teresa looked confused, like the world had shifted under her carefully arranged china. I stood, smoothed my dress. I won't be coming to Sunday dinners anymore, I said. But Sophia, my office is always open if you want to talk about engineering programs. And then I walked out. Not fast, not dramatic, just steady. The desert air outside was cool, carrying that dusty sage scent. The sky was streaked pink and violet. I felt light. Not because I hurt them, but because I was finally defined by documents, not insults. Have you ever noticed how silence can be louder than shouting? Sophia texted me that night. I'm applying to MIT, she wrote. I laughed out loud. Do it. Last week she got in. Teresa hasn't called. Mateo's alimony payments arrive on the first of every month like clockwork. And sometimes, when I sit in my living room, I frame that torn brochure on the wall, beside the official deed. Blurred ink next to crisp legal print. That's the symbol. They tried to stain my name. Now it's engraved. If this story felt like a mirror for something you've swallowed in silence, subscribe to Her Untold Revenge, and share this with the woman who's still sitting at that table, smiling politely while they underestimate her. Because sometimes the most devastating revenge isn't loud. It's legally binding.